Guys, I thought I'd seen a lot of dark, cynical, depressing anime that really tries to get to the heart of the darkness at the center of each person. That tries to take the worst aspects of humanity and hold a microscope to it and show it off to everyone. I mean, you got stuff like Technolize, where humanity destroys itself and all the main characters die in horrendous ways. The same thing happens in Gilgamesh. You have Blood Sea, which looks like it's a lighthearted high school romantic comedy, but it turns out that all of the characters are paid actors and they get destroyed in the disgusting scene. You have Future Diary, where pretty much everyone is a murderous sociopath. And then you got stuff like Berserk, where Guts' GF gets raped by his best friend as they literally descend into hell. And you might be saying, Argent, all those things are pretty depressing and they have a pretty bleak view of humanity. And I had thought so, but I think I found a show that is the most cynical, the most depressing, the show more than I think just about any other one once you makes you want to reach for a jug of bleach and just end it. Maybe this is like some psyop and this is made by some Japanese neo-reactionary as like a critique of modern masculinity and how men have to start being men, but I think it's just like the lowest common denominator of like incel wish fulfillment. So I'm about halfway through this season. I kind of, it's so cringe, I can only watch a couple episodes at a time. And I normally don't review an anime series part of the way through, but this time I just kind of had to. Just because I couldn't even really believe it. So let's, like, I don't even know how to bring structure to this, so let's just kind of go into this. So we have our main character, Kazuya, who is I think he's a first or second year university student. And at the beginning of the series, his father gives him a huge amount of money, and he's like, son, this is to get you through university. And he immediately spends the money on hiring Chizuru here, who is a rental girlfriend, who he pays to pretend to be his girlfriend. And then, like, some shenanigans happen, and he lies to his grandmother and pretends that she's his actual girlfriend, and he keeps paying her to go with him to his grandmother to, like, pretend that she's his girlfriend. And his grandmother is a massive cunt. She's also friends with Chizuru's grandmother, but basically she just publicly humiliates Kazuya on every chance she gets. She just says he's a loser. I can't believe a woman would actually go out with him. Um, he's ugly. He's uninteresting. I thought that my family line would end with him. And she says this shit in public. And while all of this is true, he just sits there and takes it. Like, what kind of a pussy takes? I get it's that your grandmother, but he doesn't even like tell her off or anything. Like, have a little bit of self-respect. Literally every time he goes to her with Chizuru, he's like, I don't know why you're with my worthless grandson. And maybe that explains like Kazuya's behavior and why he's such a literal cuckold, because his grandmother abused him. But I don't know. We haven't seen too much of his parents. But anyways, he pays her to be his girlfriend, and he constantly bitches about how she doesn't love me. It's not real love. She's like a prostitute who I hired to pretend to be my GF, but like she doesn't love me. And so he blows through basically all of his like living expense money on his fake GF, and then he has to get a part-time job to keep like paying for her. He eventually, like, okay, so sorry, it's just kind of hard to follow this. So Kazuya has a literal cuckold fetish. He's literal NTR. This isn't me just using it as like a byword. Early on, he has like sexual fantasies about his ex-girlfriend having sex with other men and talking about how it arouses him. And then later on, he engages in like this sexual thing to cheer his friend up by paying the girl he's in love with to go on a fake date with one of his friends. And like during that whole thing, he starts talking about how he has to share her with like all his fellow incels because like and that arouses him or something like that. And there's a part where like he thinks that she's going out on a date with someone and that she has a boyfriend, and she's like, no, she can't be monogamous. She has to like just be a prostitute and go out with all of the guys who want to pay for her. So basically, his entire life is just a massive lie of him paying this girl to pretending to be his girlfriend and just lying to everybody around him and just taking shit without pushing back from every other character in the show. A lot of people like Chizuru for some reason. I don't really get why. I guess it's because she's hot, but I don't know. I kind of think she's a cunt because she goes along with like his plan. Her grandmother, she also fools into thinking that Kazuya is her boyfriend. I don't know why anyone would want to pretend that Kazuya is their boyfriend, but she lies about it too, and then she basically extorts money from Kazuya so that she can pretend to be his girlfriend, so that like his grandmother will be happy. It's like, oh, she's so nice to him. Yeah, but he's paying her like tens of thousands of yen like each date. So yeah, of course she's going to be nice to him. There's even a part where she gets him like a shitty phone case for Christmas and he just like goes complete simp. Like the main character in this is like the biggest simp I've ever seen. He just like worships her. I think what makes it worse though, like it was pretty bad for the first part, but like about 10 episodes in or so, this girl on the left, Ruka, develops a crush on him and basically begs to go out with him and wants to be his girlfriend. And then he agrees to it that she's going to be his girlfriend. But he immediately starts cheating on her with Chizuru, even though Chizuru is just basically a prostitute that he hires to pretend to be his girlfriend. Now, to be fair, Chizuru doesn't actually have sex with any of her clients, but to me, it's funnier to say she's a prostitute. So he has a cute girlfriend who's like in love with him. Now, granted, she's a bit overbearing and controlling, and I don't like the shit test. I think it's very sociopathic. But Chizuru is also pretty controlling, and she's extracting money from him as part of their fake relationship. And I think Ruka just really wants him to push back a little, like just tell her to fuck off. And I think that was is like what she's looking for, is him to show the slightest hint of a spine, but he just refuses to. And there's like one of the cringiest things I've ever seen where she comes with them when they go to see his grandmother and she's like, "Look, I'm your actual girlfriend. You should introduce me as your girlfriend to my grandmother." He's like, "No, he wants I don't want you to I'm ashamed of you being my GF even though you're way out of my league." So he tells his grandmother that she's a pathological liar and insane, and that she thinks that she's his girlfriend, and she's like has schizophrenia or something. And it's just like, what kind of a dude does that to their GF? Like tells their grandparents that their GF has like schizophrenia and is a pathological liar, and then hires like another girl to pretend to be your girlfriend. Like it's just fucked. And this is our protagonist. This is the guy that we're supposed to like look up to. This giga simp who like works to spend. You know what? He should just hire a prostitute. That would be a lot less pathetic and a lot less depressing if he just hired a prostitute and just had sex with them than this like fake relationship that he has. And I think there's another part where he has an opportunity to get back with his ex-girlfriend. Now, don't get me wrong, his ex-girlfriend is a sociopath, and she probably shouldn't get back together with her. He doesn't know that because he idolizes her. But he's like, I don't want to have an actual girlfriend. I just want to have my fake girlfriend who I pay money to be nice to me. And it's just like, dude, why are we supposed to like sympathize with you or empathize with you? You're a piece of shit who's lying to your family, who's cheating on your girlfriend, who's publicly humiliating your girlfriend, who just lets women walk all over him, who doesn't push back at all, who lets his grandmother just badmouth him in public. Like, have some very basic decency. I think, like, part of it why people just humiliate him is because he doesn't push back at all. And to be fair, given, like, his sexual proclivities, he probably like gets pleasure from it. He probably enjoys it when his grandmother belittles him or he deliberately ruins his only chance at love and just stuff like that. And as I'm going through this show, I'm like, I guess he just likes being an incel. And I mean, like Ruka even says to him, like, if you want me to stop being a rental girlfriend and just be your exclusive girlfriend, I'll be happy to do that. But he's like, no, I don't want that. I just want my fake GF. But yeah, like it would be funnier if he was just like a committed incel and he was like a 4chan poster or something. And he's just like, no, I can't taint myself by being with a woman or something like that. So, one of my other issues, so there's a protagonist that I like to call the Delta male protagonist, who's the like attractive girl who's kind of out of his league falls in love with him because he's just a really solid stand-up dude. He's very loyal, he's very hardworking, he's very kind. He's just really like he kind of embodies a lot of very good traits. An example of this would be like Toradora, the main character in that. The main character in Comey can't communicate. The main character in Real Girl is also kind of like that. And there's kind of a lot of other examples. And I like that because it shows that I think it's kind of a positive message because you can see why, even if maybe he's not the best looking, why a girl would like them because they're a genuinely good and reliable person. The main character in this is not like that at all. But he's not like that. He's a dude with no redeeming features whatsoever. So I don't know what this is supposed to be, if this is supposed to be parody, if this is like male wish fulfillment, if this is supposed to be some sort of like weird NTR fetish anime. I don't even get it. I would actually like recommend watching this though. As terrible as it is, it's it's actually kind of fascinating just to see like what levels of simpery the MC can get to and just stuff like that. But it's just like it's played completely straight as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm just autistic and I can't pick up on the subtext. But yeah, I'd recommend like if you've ever felt in your life that you're not a real man, that you're a pussy, that you don't stand up for yourself, that you let women walk all over you, or you ever have low self-esteem, if you watch this show, you will feel like a Giga Chat. You'll feel like the Chat in the meme. You'll feel like Augustus the Strong who had like 130 bastards or something like that in comparison to this dude. If you have ever stood up for yourself in your life or just told someone to fuck off, then you're like 20 times the man that this dude is. I can't remember if I mentioned it. Comey Can't Communicate is the other one where you have a Delta male protagonist who the girl is kind of out of his league, but because he's a really nice stand up dude who helps her out and is always there for her, she develops feelings for him. Which I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I think it's like a good message because it's women liking someone for positive traits rather than being like an incel simp. And I know some people don't like me saying using the word simp or incel, but I don't really know how else to describe this dude. He's like every like 4chan, but he doesn't have that. Like if he was an edge lord who talked about I don't know, the decay of modern society or something, or if he was like a misogynist or something, then it would be funny at least. But it isn't. It's just I don't know. I'm gonna have to do another review of this show once I get further along because this is just like fascinating. This is just it's fucked, but it's kind of entertaining. It's like the ultimate train wreck. You just can't look away, but it makes you want to drink bleach. Like if this is the way like modern males behave and the way modern males act, then just give me it and I'll just chuck it. It's just I don't want to live in that society. We live in a society, but I don't want to live in this society. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed that video and my unhinged rant. God bless everyone and more awesome content to come.